Boom.
See, you the second step is too much movement.
Am I doing it right?
It's too much movement. It's just bang, come in, then lock. Slap, hug, lock.
Like this is so embarrassing. Stop.
No finger guns.
Before we have Rachel come in really quick. Actually, no. Go ahead, Rachel. Go ahead.
Oh, hello. Hi, everybody.
Brian.
Hey.
Hi.
Come into frame.
Hi. So, whenever people say silly things like,
I think I remember the girl down there on the bottom right. I feel like she's been on the show before and she said some weird stuff. Like maybe she might have walked off once or something like that when he asked her a question about misogyny or something.
feel sorry for your wife and kids. I always say, I'm happy to come on and, say hello and, just field any questions you guys might have about what it's like to be married to a based Giga Chad like Andrew. So if you got anything to say, here I am.
I'll go first then. How do you feel with your husband like making these comments like on live as well? Well, just like saying rude things to women or like screaming over them. Like how do you feel with that?
Well, he doesn't say rude things to women until they say something rude to him first. So Bangs was the first one to say, he's got wrinkles and he's old and he's got gray hair and he's gross. So of course he's going to say something back. And they've had exchanges back and forth before. And she's plenty happy to be rude and say mean things to him first. Everyone thinks that's okay because she's a woman. But if Andrew just simply gives her a taste of her own medicine back, you all go, you believe he said that? And it's like, why? Why is it fine for her to insult him, but it's uncalled for when he just simply gives it back to her? What's wrong with that?
Also, last time I was on here, he said that I wasn't a 10 because I had small.
Dang.
Oh my goodness.
And I didn't do anything. I just said I was a 10.
I have a question for you too. He said that you're getting worse with age. How do you feel about that?
Well, I've been on the show myself, and I'm 44 years old. I've had 5 kids. So, no, I'm not as hot as I was when I was 22. Like, this is a fact of life that all women have to deal with. The time of your life that you're hot it's like short, and it's limited.
Yeah.
You're not going to always be a hot chick. So, you can't expect that part of your life to last forever. I mean, it's just a fact.
But unfortunately, these modern women do. That's why they run into that wall.
Of life that we all get less attractive as we age. Doesn't mean he's not attracted to me or I'm not attracted to him, but I'm not as hot as I was when I was 22. In fact, when I was on the show, I rated myself a 5. And everybody always gets upset with Andrew because he rates me a 6. And I'm like, I think he's giving me just a hair more than I deserve. But I'm a normal, regular 44-year-old Midwestern mom of 5. You want me to come on here and say I'm a 10? Do I look like Pamela Anderson? You know what I mean? It's like, come on, just be realistic. You guys get upset with him because he tries to give you a little tiny dose of reality and he doesn't blow a bunch of smoke up your ass. But he's never rude or mean unless you do it to him first.
That's not true.
He might pop off a little bit.
Okay, can you give me an example?
I just gave you one.
Well, you had an attitude. So you were being kind of like how you did earlier, where you're like, I'm going to dominate a man and I'm going to live.
No,
so
but
if you come with a sassy attitude and then call yourself a 10 when you're clearly objectively not a 10.
I can have that was just my personality. But when I said it was like that comment, like when it's like when the person said rate yourself 1 through 10, I literally when it was my turn I said 10, and then I was like, do you want me to stand up? Because I wanted him to rate me, and then he gave me an 8, but then he was like, he had Andrew rate me. He said like a 3, or he's like, she's not a 10. She has no.
Doesn't that make you uncomfortable?
I was like, what? Like I didn't do anything. I just rated myself.
Isn't that weird that your man is looking at her chest? Isn't that weird?
She stood up and asked to have her body evaluated.
I said I was asking. I wasn't asking for him. By the time I asked, he wanted what's his name?
Andrew.
So
Brian.
Just a second here.
Brian?
You said you were a 10. Andrew said, no, you're not a 10. And he had to explain why. So that was the reason he gave. That's his opinion. No, it doesn't make me uncomfortable. It doesn't bother me.
But it was so unnecessary.
Rachel has some nice nails.
Necessary. That's why I'm saying that he is mean when there's no reason to be mean. Like that was like I was like, oh okay, I guess.
Yeah, I
Like,
watched
that was-
that whole
his comment was
episode.
so unnecessary.
I watch every episode. You were no little angel. You were not some sweet, nice girl.
I am
who's just
not
really
an angel.
kind.
I'm not. I never said that.
Right. So you had
lying.
attitude. You had sass. You
Yeah,
weren't
but never.
a sweet
Yeah,
little
but like,
angel. So
and that
if he
moment.
said small, then you have small. Like, what do you want me to say? Like, I'm
Like
sorry that
the
you
comment wasn't
noticed
necessary.
that-
The comment wasn't necessary.
We're just asking for how you feel about your grown husband saying that stuff.
First of all, don't ever say grown man. It's ghetto.
I don't give a
Try reading some books.
Do you know what ghetto is?
Maybe. All of you've been to all this college, and I'm like, where's all the college education for all these college educate? You're all in college, and you can't put two. You're not even using the word. You're not even using the word ghetto right. So
you have like no
He's a grown.
backbone.
He's not a grown ass.
But
no
saying those words does not make her ghetto.
You have
Like,
no backbone.
you know what ghetto
Ghetto
is?
thing to say.
A white woman just
backbone.
saying the word ghetto. Crazy.
I feel bad for you.
Crazy.
I feel bad for you because you're 22 and you're on OnlyFans and you've already hit your peak. And you're plenty happy to be rude. You have been so rude on this show, Bangs. Don't sit here and gaslight this whole audience. We've all seen you on here, multiple appearances. You are rude and nasty as you can be.
And
then you
that gets
literally
the
perfect for each other.
views. That gets the views. Why do you think I keep getting invited back? Why do you think I keep getting invited back?
she's literally.
I'm the every time I'm on here, I am the title. I am the title
When you
every
both start
time.
hollering,
lady.
I can't hear them. When you
Okay.
both start clucking,
No, I said that it's like I just complimented. Like you guys are
Dang.
literally the perfect couple. Like I see why he's attracted to you. Like yes, you guys are a perfect couple.
That's how it
Definitely.
works.
listen, I think it's mean. I think it's actually the cruel thing to do to let young women have free license to act terrible, to be entitled, to be rude, to think that they owe everything handed to them on a silver platter because they push their up, to act like this short phase of life when you're at your peak fertility is going to last forever. That is what's mean, because what happens
I'm sorry,
is
you can't live that anymore, and we.
It's the entitlement. What she's saying, and you don't seem to understand that, is once you get past a certain age, I think it happens for human beings in general. It's just that men have to accept it. Like if a man were to go out there and he'd be playing football, you're too old, get off the field. You're too old, get off the court. It's time for you to retire. Even if somebody's like Tagovailoa, I think is how you say his name. That man has taken so many hits, and people have been like, please stop playing football. Please don't go back out there. Please somebody force him to stop playing football. It is not worth it. Andrew Luck got out of the game because it's dangerous and you have so many recurring injuries. It's not worth it. Use the rest of your time remaining that you have to live a good life. And when we say this to men, men have to get it. When it's said to men, men have to understand and they have to accept it. But when it's said to these modern women, oh, you just mad because you can't live this life. What life? I lived it. I'm married. I have children now. I have 5 children.
We're going through it. Like what?
See, this is the thing, though. I never did that.
It's
I didn't do this
acting.
thing where I was just like
It's giving
promiscuous
old and
all
mad.
through my 20s and 30s. Are you gonna let me talk or what? So I didn't do this thing. I never did OnlyFans. I didn't go through a party phase. I was a mom when I was 20 years old. I only ever wanted to be in long-term committed relationships. I was hoping I would just get married and that would be it. I did get divorced. Wasn't my fault. Wasn't anything that could be done about it. Lesson learned, didn't repeat that. But what I'm telling you is the mean thing is the whole world telling you that you guys are strong, independent women where you're going to cry because your hair straightener stopped working on your
Not so
birthday.
much on me. You said that you were your man was only being rude to people who were being rude. I haven't been rude. So I don't feel like you should come for me.
Did you say confront you?
Come for me.
Come for you. I'm not coming for you. I'm saying it's absurd for you to believe that it's like normal behavior to cry because your straight iron broke or cry on every birthday. Like, young women live in such delusion nowadays. That's why everything's all messed up. That's why everything's gone to hell in a handbasket. You guys are not acting like the grown, strong, independent, equal with men, women that you claim to be. And when I just come on here and say, look, this behavior is ridiculous, this is silly and absurd, you can't even take it. You can't take the slightest bit of just like obvious criticism. I'm not calling you names. I'm not swearing at you or anything like that. I'm just saying you guys were like, well, we want to know how you feel about this, and your husband is rude, and we don't like. And it's like, okay, I'm trying to explain it to you.
Okay,
I'm trying to explain to you that this princess fantasy world that you live in does need to be somebody.
Once again, all of them, pretty much all of them, even I'm not talking about attractive, I'm just talking about the aesthetic. They all have a copy and paste aesthetic. All of them. Modern women usually have it. And they say that I'm unique, I'm different, yada, yada, yada. No, you're not. You're the same. And men are picking you out. And they're saying, I'm not going to touch that because you're the same as her. You exhibit the same qualities and behaviors and characteristics. It's my job to snuff that out, and I'm going to leave you alone.
He needs to break that down for you, because that's not reality.
Can I ask you a genuine question?
Yeah.
How long have you been with Andrew? Like married, or like in a like dating and married? I would say, like in a romantic.
17 years.
Okay, 17 years. So that's a long time. You guys seem like a relatively happy couple right now. Yeah. I'm sure you guys had to have some sort of like emotional connection, right? To like make your whole relationship last 17 years. Can you tell me like how you guys do that? Because he made a remark earlier about women not liking, like men not being vulnerable because women will use that against them. And so like he was saying men shouldn't really show like a lot of emotions. And I'm genuinely curious, if you've been with him for 17 years, like how do you guys keep that? Because I'm sure you guys get into fights too. You guys are human.
Early on, we got into more fights because all of you girls, and me included, okay? I wasn't like born a great wife. I don't think great wives are born. I think they're made. I think it's something it's like anything else. It's a skill you have to learn and you have to work on. So early on, I had some attitude issues here and there. Probably not to the extent that a lot of women do, but I would do stupid, like if he gave me like a little bit of, stern, if he would say, no, we're not going to do that. And I'd get like pouty and like throw a remote control at him or something. And he'd be like, excuse me?
Absolutely not.
If you're going to throw stuff at me, I'm not going to be with you. Like, if that's how you're going to behave, I'll just walk out. He wouldn't get angry or yell at me. He was just like, I'm not going to tolerate that. And at first I would be like, well, that's so, like, how could, and then I thought about it and I went, wait, do I want to be the chick that throws stuff at my man?
Like, I don't want to do that.
Because he said something that like just hit me wrong in the ear, right? So I learned that Andrew's a man who has boundaries, and he doesn't ever need to be like loud with me or rude with me to enforce them. He's just firm. He's just, and he'll just be like, nope, I'm just not going to accept that. So as time went on, of course we got closer, and we share things, we share life experiences, and he'll tell me how he feels about things to a certain extent. But what he doesn't do is talk to me like I'm one of his girlfriends, right? He doesn't come home from work and be like, it was just such a tough day at work, and this guy said something to me and it really made me feel unappreciated. And
they don't talk to men like that either. Like men don't talk to men like this either. So you're not really missing anything. There's a certain way that a man, what's happening is they've, like most couples that know how to be couples, they've gotten themselves into a sweet spot. And I'm glad she talked about her attitude and him not really feeding into that and just saying, you know what, I'm not doing that. We're not going to be doing that. Because most of these modern women, like I say in a lot of my videos, you'll set up a perimeter as a protector and a provider, and then they'll be walking past that boundary. They'll be trying to force that boundary. And the more you push it, the more they'll keep on trying to force it until they don't respect you anymore. Oh man, he was a pushover. I really didn't like him. He didn't set any, well, you was acting stupid. That's why he kept on trying to give you leeway, because he didn't want to be controlling. But you was acting a fool, right? And so this guy's like, you know what? I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to holler. I'm not going to scream. But we won't be doing that at all.
Like, he doesn't dump like all of his emotional stuff on me. He has guy friends for that. He has a dad he can talk to if he's got like man stuff to talk about. we talk about what's pertinent, and we're super close. Like anybody who watches the show probably already knows that he and I are like inseparable, super close, best friends, but it's still like a male-female relationship. I don't expect him to act like one of my girlfriends. And I think a lot of young women especially, they want their boyfriend to act like one of their girlfriends would. And you shouldn't expect that from a man, because here's why.
She's cooking.
If he actually did that, you wouldn't like it. If your boyfriend wanted to cry in your arms all the time when he had a bad day at work, you would very quickly be like, you'd be dry as the Sahara, right? It would just not be a turn on for you. So I think when you're young, you think you want that stuff from a man, but you really don't. So yeah, we're super close, but he doesn't have to like pour out his emotions to me all the time. He does when he wants to, and when he feels like that's something he wants to do. The rest of the time, I respect it if he doesn't want to do that.
Okay. And like, do you kind of, I mean, you guys are 17 years in, do you know like his like childhood, the way he grew up, and does that help you like understand him a lot better on why he acts the way he acts in certain situations, because you know his like background?
Well, yeah, but that's because, you know, you get to know their family, you hear stories, you know, like, of course I know his parents and his siblings, and so I've heard stories about him growing up. He'll tell me stories about growing up, but he's not going to sit down with me like a therapist and be like, you know, when I was growing up, I felt like my mom did this or my dad did that, and here's how it affected my development. Like, he's not going to talk to me like that, right? So I do know him. I know him really well, and I can observe his dynamic with his family and hear stories. So that's like how you get to know a man. It's not going to be like he's going to sit down on the phone with you for 4 hours and pour out his heart necessarily. Maybe some guys do that. Maybe it works for some people, but Andrew is like, he is a pretty stoic guy. He's the same guy at home that he is on the show. The difference is that he never has to have the same dynamic with me that he has with you guys, because it's a different relationship. Number one, I'm like pretty smart, to be honest. So he feels like we're on the same level. And I'm really respectful. I'm very submissive.
Are you implying that we're stupid?
I'm not saying you're stupid. I'm saying that it tends to be the case that a lot of the young ladies who come on here are not like, so Andrew's like a logician. He knows philosophy, he knows history, he's like a really, really, really smart guy. And so sometimes there's a little bit of a mismatch there, and the girls will take what he says wrong because they think he's talking down to them when all he's doing is talking how he normally talks. So he and I don't have that like discrepancy. I'm like, also, I write books and...
Yeah, I think it also has to be said, she's still going off. I write books, she is a savage. I think it has to be said that they know each other. So she knows how to take him. And she knows, okay, it's time for me to back off, or hey, you know, I can push here and I can ask a question about this. They just know each other. When you go on the show, there's a little bit of a dynamic of different backgrounds, and I don't really know you. And so there's more space, to be fair, to take something wrong.
I'm pretty educated and stuff like that. So I just think we're like on the same level, and we have similar communication styles. So we don't have the same issue. Like, I don't take offense easily either. If he tells me, oh man, I really like, if I got bangs once and he was like, really don't like the bangs, babe, like you're very pretty, don't like the bangs. I'm just like, okay, no problem. He doesn't like the bangs, we'll grow out the bangs. Whereas a lot of women, I think, would like cry and get very upset, and it would be like a whole issue, and it's just not for me. So I'm just saying, like, personality wise, we match up pretty well that way for the most part.
Noted. Thanks for sharing.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm just saying, don't sit there like victims. If you're willing to dish it out, bangs, you got to be willing to take it. You can't sit there and call him wrinkly and old and insult him first. And then if he goes, yeah, well, you know, it looks like you've gained some weight since the last time you've been here, says something like that. It's like, what do you expect him to say? You knew what he was going to say if you said something like that to him. So,
yeah, but I'm not getting mad at him when he says anything. I literally just laugh and I smile and
it's okay.
Nod my head.
If you're
and that's
cool,
like, I don't know, do you guys want me to get mad, or what reaction is he looking for then? Because it's obviously not good enough just smiling and nodding my head when he calls me fat.
He's not looking for reaction. I wanted to come on because you say now to me, now that I'm here, like, oh, it doesn't really bother me. I just give it back and we do the back and forth. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. If you like to give him some and you don't mind if he gives you some there's no problem with that.
I
But
don't.
what you can't do is
Yeah, I think Andrew's got a level of it. Like, he's just talking. Sometimes he'll say some stuff and you can't take it personally, which is what she's learned. He's just a trash talker. He just be talking trash. I mean, some of the stuff he's saying is like, yeah, but then sometimes he just cutting up. And modern women, a lot of times, she's right. A lot of times modern women can dish it out, but they can't take it. And so that's where a lot of their attitude comes from. It's not just Andrew. It's any man. When a man talks to them in a certain way and holds them accountable, they don't like that.
Give him and go, oh, he gave me Shaq.
Girl, no one did that. No one did that.
You said, I wonder how I feel sorry for your wife. And you don't have to feel sorry for me. I have a great husband. He's
Perfect.
a really brilliant guy, a really entertaining guy. He is a very handsome guy, too.
Awesome.
By the way.
Awesome.
I don't know. Are blind, but
I don't know
he's
why you
definitely
have
a
to come
handsome
on
guy.
here and defend it for us. If you were secure,
because
you were
you
secure,
sat
you wouldn't
here and
have
said
said
you felt
anything.
sorry for me. So I'm just letting you know, you don't have to feel sorry. I couldn't be more blessed to have the husband that I have, which honestly, I feel like I'm punching above my weight a little bit being married to this guy, but so don't feel sorry for me. I'm doing just fine. I'm very happy. Wouldn't want to be with anybody else. And he's a great dad. We have 4 daughters. He's a great dad. Super nice dad, really
5 of them in the
caring.
house, dang.
But our kids also are really well behaved. They don't give him a bunch of shit. They don't give him a bunch of attitude. And if they did, they'd hear it from me before they heard it from him, because I would never allow them to disrespect him.
That's another good point. There's a lot of modern women that will allow their children, and single mothers that will allow their children to disrespect the man. And he's in the house. He's trying to keep the protection and provision. He's trying to keep the peace and all that stuff, set the tone. And they will allow that man to be disrespected. Oh, well, maybe you should hear him out. And disrespect. It's disrespectful. Stop doing that. You have to back your man. And these modern women aren't looking to do that.
So we have a very healthy, good family dynamic. And people seem to think that it's weird for parents to have boundaries or for spouses to treat each other respectfully, I guess. I don't know what you guys think is the problem.
Me personally, have never had a grown man talk to me that way. So
well,
it's
that's
just shocking.
the problem. See, that's the problem. You are used to giving people an attitude and you think you have free license to insult people or have a sassy attitude, and that because you have your big pushed up, the men aren't going to say anything.
Girl,
and Andrew,
do you think
Andrew is 40 and married, and he doesn't give a shit. So he's going to give it right back to you. And if all men were that way, you wouldn't have the attitude you have.
Okay,
I mean, even if you're looking at the 2 at the top of the screen, I guess the one in the middle of the screen and to the right of her in the red, I guess with that black jacket and then the red blouse or whatever that is, they're not even comprehending. They're still not getting it. They're going to wind up in the same position with the same guys, getting treated the same way, and they'll be right back on the show talking about guys are trash because they're not getting it. They're not getting that you have a certain place in a relationship, and so does a man. And the man, a lot of men be in their place, but you don't be in yours. And you wonder why the relationship ain't working out, because that man's not taking that from you.
I don't act like this outside of here. This is all for show. Okay, girl.
Well, if that's the case, then I don't know what the problem is.
Me either. I don't know what. You decided you wanted to come on here and have a chat with me, so.
Yeah, because you invoked me a couple of times. A couple different times now you've made comments about, oh, your wife. Do you talk to your wife this way? I feel bad for her. I can't believe you have a wife when you act like this.
Exactly.
And it's like, if you know the nature of the show, and this is all for show, then there shouldn't be a problem.
They be saying stuff and they forget that they said it. They be talking reckless and they forget that they mention somebody, and when somebody, well, I don't even know why I didn't even call you. You did call their name. You did call their name, and that's why they're there. Well, I didn't call you specifically, yeah, but you're talking about them, period.
And plenty of women on this show, by the way, who Andrew has been super nice to, has gotten along with great. The only time he gives women is if they give him first, if they come on with an attitude, if they act entitled, things like that. Then yeah, he's going to match your energy. So
I can just spot an insecure man when I see one.
Still
So
going. Still going.
that's know it. You're just saying that is
do
cope.
it.
That's pure cope. You're coping.
no one's coping,
There's nothing
lady.
insecure about Andrew. It's pretty clear that he's not insecure. So
Still
He was
going.
like crying because I didn't say woman.
Still going. And she's like, oh, I wasn't doing anything. I wasn't talking about anybody. And she's still going. She didn't explain to you. If you give this man crap, he's going to give it to you back. And she's still doing it. Now, if this man were to come back on that show and light a fire up under your behind, you'd be upset. You'd be upset about that.
I said woman, and he got really mad. He was crying, and he was like fake crying.
I want you to say something.
It was like age regression. We saw age regression right now.
Repeat after me, Bangs. Say
no.
One woman and 3 women went shopping. Go ahead. One woman and 3 women went shopping. Can you do it?
No, you're not my mom. Sorry.
Well, I tried. It's just something we notice. I don't know if it's a California girl thing or if it's like a Gen Z thing, but y'all don't know the difference between woman and women, and it drives everyone crazy. Read the comments section sometime under the show. Everybody notices it.
Well, I don't know what to tell you. It's how we speak over here.
That's how y'all talk for real? Y'all really talk like that?
Yeah.
I honestly didn't even notice.
Yeah, me either. I never noticed it until I came on the show.
You never knew it was a difference between woman and woman?
No, I knew there's a difference when I write it the correct way, but I guess when I speak it, it comes out weird. Really pisses people off. Yeah.
Okay. She's not fun to be around.
Hey, Rachel.
What do you think, Brian?
What do I think about just whatever you guys were just about the women?
Oh, no, about Andrew being mean and everybody being worried about me. Everybody being concerned on my behalf.
I'm not gonna be
Okay, it's okay, girl. We know you're fine. You're good.
Well, I know both of you personally, and I know you guys have a really fantastic relationship. We've had you in the studio. We've had Andrew a bunch. And it is, to be fair, Bangs, well, I guess not to be fair to you, but you started it.
Yeah.
I don't remember what I said, but I probably did.
You said something about how his looks or his age or something, and he had not said anything yet rude to you. And then he's the type of guy.
It's okay.
He'll
It's
match your
okay if
energy. He'll match your energy.
I'm saying that I don't care if he threw back at me. That's how it is. I never came and cried that he's like, oh my God, he cried. He called me fat. If we look back at it, he cried.
Andrew, I'm pretty sure Andrew was not crying.
Okay, it's fine. You guys can rewatch it, but I never
was crying?
Yeah, he was crying because I didn't say, because I said, because I.
These modern women will never take accountability. I mean, she's one of them. Lost, just confused, not really understanding why men treat her a certain way. I hate to say it this way. You're getting what you deserve. You're getting what you deserve. That sounds terrible, but that's what it is. If you're putting energy out there, you're getting what you deserve. Now, there's a time when people get done wrong. I get it. That's not supposed to happen. But on a consistent basis, if you're like this, you're getting what you deserve. You said something out of pocket. You've done something out of pocket. And there's going to be somebody, in your case, an Andrew Wilson and a Rachel Wilson, that's going to trash you. That's going to get on your case. That's going to get on your bond. And you're going to feel me today. You're going to hear my mouth. Oh, well, just be rude. Just be nice. Don't be rude. Oh, man, I really didn't mean. No, you're going to hear me today. You're going to hear everything I got to say. I'm going to go. I'm going to go for a little while. I've been bottling this up for a little while. You're going to hear me today. And they don't like that. And they get mad. And they still keep going and they still keep digging after he stopped or after she stopped. Okay, that's it. I said what I need to say. And then they'll come back and throw another dart. And then if he starts again, and all of a sudden it's a problem. You're going to get wrecked and you're going to continue to do it. But that's just my opinion. Till the next video, I'm out.